And somehow we don't see a huge issue with this. Okay.
It's an interesting question. I've never thought about this, but yeah.
Jamie's Corner had a go at selling people dog meat. Or is it really dog meat? Who knows? Let's see how students at the University of Columbia react to this. We have a feeling it won't be the best response in comparison to if they were selling the flesh of cows, chickens, or pigs.
What the hell is up, you guys? My name is Jamie Logan, and we're here at Columbia University giving out some local free-range organic dog meat. Only one bad day, but they make great little meatballs and lab chops.
One bad day where they've been looked after their whole life, but then they have one bad day. So that suddenly makes it okay to take their life away from them.
God, I can't believe this. Okay.
Do you eat meat? So would you eat me? I'm cookable.
What I will eat you day and night.
Oh God, we're talking.
I'd say you're showing compassion to the animal by not hurting it, right? And you're showing benevolence to the animal in that you're not abusing it. So that is a humane slaughter.
Yes, that is definitely a good way to explain what humane means.
What do you think of our dog meat booth?
I really don't know, my dear.
Why not?
I gotta say if it's real dog meat.
Your daughter is on the phone?
Yeah.
Hey, so we're on campus. Ah! There's a lot of wind. We're on campus here today talking about our dog meat farm back here in Texas. We raise our dogs humanely and then we feed people.
Yeah.
She's laughing. When you first saw this booth, what was coming to mind?
Nietzsche.
What is it?
Nietzsche. That was what I was thinking.
Sorry, I don't know what Nietzsche is.
I was thinking that it probably is an objection to factory farming.
How do you feel about factory farming?
I think factory farming is bad.
Do you eat meat?
Yeah, we eat meat, beef, and lamb. That's it, God.
So what do you think the difference is between this meat and any other meat you eat?
Nothing.
Exactly, nothing. There isn't a difference.
Cut their heads off, yep.
Oh God.
Do you eat meat? What's the difference between dogs and other animals?
That's sick. It's the same meat. Okay, they said they don't eat meat.
They don't eat meat. Okay, well actually, this is a spoof. It's not actually a dog meat farm, and what we're trying to do is trying to get people to question, if you wouldn't eat a dog, why is it okay to eat any other animal?
Oh. Oh, I got it.
Including fish, sir, including fish. I scared her.
I eat anything that is cookable. Anything that you cook,
Anything, so would you eat me? I'm cookable.
No, you can't give up. Humans are not cookable.
Humans are cookable. Jeffrey Dahmer ate humans.
Just there, anything that's cookable. We are cookable. You wouldn't cook us though, you know? Why wouldn't you cook a human? But you would cook other animals.
I mean, yeah, you could eat a human. I'm full of flesh and meat.
Really?
We're all the same underneath. We all have veins, we all have tendons, we all have muscle, fat, tissue.
I know, but what are you gonna put in? You're gonna put ketchups and what?
Yeah, add a little bit of seasoning. I'm probably delicious.
I like that.
So wait,
You are.
but that being said, would you eat me?
What I will eat you day and night.
Oh God, we're done here. Thank you. This conversation is over.
Though conceivably there is a difference. One sentimental attachment to their dog, which is not something by virtue of it being a sentimental attachment that extends to other animals.
So most of these people, if they saw me kicking a dog, would try to stop me. So it's not just an attachment to their dog, it's this culture and mindset that we have.
Hell, if someone saw you kicking a pig, they'd probably be like, why are you doing that? And probably try and stop you. It's until it comes down to consuming the animals or other ways of exploiting them that we don't initially see as exploitation because we're socialized into doing those actions.
Dogs and cats are for loving and having as pets, and farm animals are killing and eating. If we were to do some of the practices that we do to farmed animals to dogs, we would be thrown in jail. We mutilate pigs, we cut off their tails and pull out their teeth. We cut the toes off of turkeys. We castrate them. We burn holes in their heads to remove their horns. Yet if we were to do any of these things to dogs, it would be illegal. But why is that?
It's interesting question. I've never thought about this, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. Some things, like ear cropping, for example, are things that we do to dogs. We mutilate them in other ways. We do these horrific things to animals, even animals we're supposed to love, like dogs. It shows the need on behalf of the animals for us to go vegan so that we have a better understanding of the things that we're doing, and we actually adopt a philosophy that considers the fundamental rights of these animals.
So,
Today I need something new.
do you like animals?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you think you can like animals and also eat them?
Yeah, oh well. Not animals I know.
Let's say that dog over there, you don't know that dog. He's playing fetch, you don't know him. Would you be okay hurting him?
No, I would feel bad.
Of course, because you're a normal person that has empathy, right?
Yeah.
Just like that dog, pigs also like to run around and feel grass under their feet. Cows can play fetch. Chickens can count.
Right.
Like, there's things about these animals that we totally just, we devalue their lives because we have to in order to exploit them.
I draw the line like chicken, sheep,
Okay.
cow, bunny. I draw like right there.
What is the moral distinction or ethical difference between this animal and any of those other animals?
Dogs eat meat.
Well, what does that have to do with you eating meat?
I don't want to eat
changes
carnivores.
I guess the question is like, do they feel pain and do they suffer?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I personally only eat meat that's slaughtered in the correct way,
What's that way?
which is like by the throat, not letting the animal see the knife.
Do you have any animals?
I only kill my humans in the correct way. By slitting their throat, I've done it in the correct manner.
Do you have any animals at home?
I have a cat, yeah.
You have a cat. So would it
I
be
did not eat
okay?
him, if that's what you're asking.
Well, the question is, would it be okay to put that cat through the slaughtering process you're
No, absolutely
describing?
not.
Why not?
Absolutely not. Because it's bad. Like I just said, it's bad.
Because it's bad.
Would you find it acceptable to put that cat through the same humane slaughtering practices?
Yeah.
So what if we did the same thing to humans? Would you have any different
Humans?
Yeah, but so I think we could agree that it's not right though, right? So if we don't have to do these
no,
things, maybe
I
we
would
can
disagree.
consider actually not trying to find better ways to kill, but instead not doing it at all. They could slap grass-fed or humane labels on these products all day long. Nobody can convince me that taking the life away from another sentient being will be ethical. It's just not, because I wouldn't want this done to me, so I'm not gonna say it's okay to do it to others.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's just,
I'm so glad.
yeah.
I'm not a scientist, but I think when you're looking at the animal and it very peacefully doesn't make a sound, doesn't even try to move, it just like sits down and dies very peacefully. That doesn't really seem.
Respectfully, in what realm? And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't really appreciate it if someone peacefully killed me in my sleep one day because they fancied doing it for my flesh or for some other purpose. They've still taken my life away from me. I wouldn't appreciate that. No, that would be very bad. So even if you do it in the nicest way possible, you're still fundamentally taking away someone's entire existence from them, the entire fibre of their being gone. And somehow we don't see a huge issue with this. Okay.
To me, like it's suffering, right?
You're putting words like peaceful and killing together. It's like, you gotta, I mean, I don't know if I would use that word. It's
Okay,
not
all right, then,
peaceful.
yeah, I'll say die very quietly.
Do you know what the term humane means? What is the definition of humane?
That it's the right way of doing it.
No, it
We
means
don't
to
look that up.
show compassion or have benevolence.
I'd say you're showing compassion to the animal by not hurting it, right? And you're showing benevolence to the animal in that you're not abusing it. So that is a humane slaughter.
But you're killing the animal. So to me, that's the ultimate form of abuse.
We all exploit plants.
But is there a difference between chopping like a piece of broccoli and like killing a pig, for example?
So this is not like my major, but I think plants have. I read an article saying that plants, they have a way of communicating between them.
But do they?
So do computers. This doesn't mean they feel. We have a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to experience.
Have pain receptors or a brain or a spinal cord?
But you don't know that.
Well, I do know that broccolis don't have brains or spinal cords. You don't eat animals because you're worried about plants. That's not why you eat animals, right? Be honest with me.
Right, I'm just telling you, vegans are also hypocritical, or otherwise you can eat maybe rocks or.
But we
air.
just established that there's a difference between eating plants and animals. What am I recognizing about you?
Why do people go down the plants feeling pain route? As Jamie said, that's not why you're eating the animals. You're not concerned about that, really.
That I'm not recognizing in the carrot. Just establish that there's a difference between eating plants and animals. What am I recognizing about you that I'm not recognizing in the carrot?
Like if we're a human creature, so we are like more, we have like thoughts and stuff, we can like communicate, but for a vegetable and it's just, it's a vegetable world and they don't talk, they don't, you know, it's just, yeah.
So you just answered your own question. They don't have sentience. They can't feel pain. Animals, you, me, that dog, pigs, can feel pain.
But they still, they're alive.
They're alive, but what's great about plants is that you have an apple tree, right? That apple is gonna fall off the tree, and that plant tree is going to regenerate more apples. When you kill an animal, their entire existence is gone forever.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true, you know.
Plants can also feel pain. They can do a lot of those things. Because if you put a light source to them, they can move. A heat source, they'll
but
Oh no, it's getting worse. Where's all the plant stuff coming from?
does not account for them feeling pain. It just shows that they react to stimulus.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Which pain is one stimulus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It doesn't mean that that's the stimulus. Oh goodness.
but in order to feel pain, you need a brain and a nervous system.
Right, but they still have like life.
Yeah, they have. They're,
So you're defining about very specific,
They're alive,
like
but they're not
metrics. They
sentient.
feel pain.
You know, sentience is where we draw
The
the line.
metrics, yeah.
That's
So
the
why is
metric.
that where you draw the line?
Because sentience means you have a subjective experience of the world.
Right, which, I mean,
And if you have a subjective experience of the world, you have your own interests, as in you have your best interest is to not be exploited.
If you really care about plants, the animals that we eat the vast majority of plant crops grown. So if you want to save plants and advocate for plants, you should eat them directly because there's 8 billion humans compared to 90 billion farmed animals that eat most of the plant crops.
okay, but then you're arguing only a plant-based diet.
So what
like,
I'm
why
saying
is that not exploiting
is
plants too, by your definition?
It is
of
exploiting
exploitation?
plants.
it's exploiting
So why is
them.
that wrong too?
So
Because-
personally, I
The lengths that people go to try and justify the exploitation and killing of other animals is just amazing. If he could see himself talking right now, he would shake him and be like, what are you talking about? We go into this very defensive state where we start saying absolute nonsense. People do it in arguments with each other as well. When they feel like they're losing an argument, suddenly they become very strange and start behaving in a very bizarre manner. And you think, where has sense gone? It's gone in the toilet.
What about animals eating other animals?
like a lion or a tiger, yeah.
Yeah, they also eat babies of competing mates. And never once would we look at someone and be like, you know what? Lions eat the babies of competing mates. So when this human did it, that was absolutely fine.
So lions and tigers, they are natural born carnivores. So they have to eat other animals to survive. But
Usually carnivores.
But humans, no, we've always been omnivores, so that means that we can eat meat, but we can also thrive and survive on a plant-based diet.
Also, when you have a need, you can murder.
Well, you bring up a good point, because if it's a survival situation, I would probably kill to survive, yes. But in most circumstances, I'm not in a survival situation, so it's based on a different moral scale. Does that make sense? So like with lions and tigers, I don't base any of my other actions in my daily life off of what lions do, right? Lions don't wear clothes, they don't drive cars, they don't shop in grocery stores. In fact, lions sniff each other's butts and eat their babies sometimes. So I'm not gonna justify my ability to eat meat based off of lions just because they do it when they're nothing like us, you know? You know what I mean. Come on. That was a pretty good argument. You gotta give it to me.
There are also pragmatic complications with being this kind of vegan.
Like
In
what?
order to have any kind of food, it requires animals to die. Crop death, I'm sure you're familiar with
Yeah,
this
so
infection.
what are the animals eating? What about all those crops that had to be grown to feed the animals, right? So if you want to actually reduce crop deaths and plant casualties, whatever, go directly to eating the plants, because 80 billion mouths to feed, animal lives that we have to feed and grow food for and use land for, that's way worse. So as a human,
Oh, it's it's painful. You know, we just dropped a video recently on lifting vegan logic and like the hardest argument against veganism, and all these arguments were there. They just keep getting regurgitated. It's very confusing why they keep being said as if there's a point to them.
Can't be perfect, but I can minimize the suffering.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So you want to admit of there's a degree to which we can be better.
Listen, I think being alive, we're all gonna have some sort of footprint, but if you were to offer me alternatives to at least minimize suffering for others, I would be so open-minded to that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm raised Muslim, so we Muslims, we're allowed to eat goat, lamb, or beef.
But does it say anywhere in the Quran that you have to eat meat? Does it mandate
it?
It
mentions that the animals, we have allowed the animals for you guys to eat, to use them and to eat them.
So just because we can do something doesn't necessarily mean we should. So like, I could punch somebody in the face if I wanted to, but I don't, because I think that person would probably feel that it's painful and I wouldn't want to hurt them. So just because we can do these things to farmed animals, because it's legal, even though I don't think it should be, doesn't necessarily mean we should. And if you consider yourself to be kind and empathetic, then I would start to question some of the foods that you are eating.
When I was in India. Yeah, that makes more sense, yeah.
So we have a movie playing tomorrow called Christspiracy. It looks into religion and the ethics behind eating animals.
Eating meat is not like eating person. You don't have to justify it.
But it is killing and causing harm to a living being. It is, and you're trying to justify it by bringing up plants feel pain and lions. These excuses are very common. I've heard them all day long, but we actually have a pamphlet that shows these excuses, which you brought up a few of them. So here you go. So, so lions eat other animals. Plants have feelings. So yeah, you brought up very common.
Plants have feelings.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how we would respond to it.
Yeah, you can keep that.
So you just have to ask yourself, which side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be somebody that supports these industries that hurt animals, or do you want to stand against the system and say, you know what, I don't want to be the reason why they suffer?
That side makes more sense. Not let the animals suffer.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for being honest. And we have information here. We should hold ourselves accountable for our consumption and become more mindful. And to recognize that with every bite of cheese, with every piece of meat, every glass of milk, every omelet, there are consequences to that, and that there are individuals that suffer for our actions.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
It's much easier than you think it is to go vegan, I promise you. I think that I, at one point, thought it was extreme. I thought it was, like, too difficult. But then I started to think about what's more extreme, forcing animals into gas chambers, having their heads cut off, torturing them, killing them, or me buying a vegan burger. Like, come on.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Jamie's Corner, everybody. What do you think of those responses? Were they what you were expecting? Because I must say, they were exactly what I was expecting. We have to keep going out there and keep having conversations with people so that this stays rife in the mind. If people aren't challenged about this and it's just a societal norm, then they'll just carry on doing it without thinking about it. But upon thinking about this further, people end up experiencing a lot of discomfort in many cases, and then can't deal with that discomfort and then change accordingly, changing to become vegan. Now, don't forget to become vegan for the animals, because they are who it means everything to.